What is going on, everyone? Now that we've had 24 hours to digest the Houston Texans 19-21 defeat to the Atlanta Falcons, the Texans are now 2-3 on the season, looking to go 500 next week against the New Orleans Saints. Man, I talked how yesterday's game was disappointing but not discouraging. Coming into this game against the Falcons, your previous 2 weeks against the Jacksonville Jaguars, against the Pittsburgh Steelers, no one expected you to win those games. Yet the Houston Texans did in a dominant fashion, putting up 30 points in both of those contests. So coming into the game against the Atlanta Falcons, I felt confident. They were on a 2-game losing streak and were already having conversations if second-year quarterback Desmond Ridder needs to be benched or not. I said I smelled blood in the water. This was disappointing because I thought the Houston Texans were going to have a statement game. I said they were. And the statement being, we have arrived as a football team, and you are now going to see us separate ourselves from the lower teams of the league. Yet the Atlanta Falcons absolutely punched you in the mouth, and Desmond Ridder had himself a career day. 321 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, was not sacked. We're going to talk about yesterday's defeat. Welcome, everyone, to the 713 Houston Sportcast. I am your host, Ruben Calvillo. I drop daily Houston Texans content, win, draw, or loss, so make sure you guys are following me on my Twitter, Instagram, TikTok for the latest news, rumors, and updates. And if you guys are new here to the channel, welcome. Just hit 8,000 subscribers. Thank y'all so much. Trying to hit 9K by week 9 or 10. Please help me get there. And thank y'all so much for watching today's video. Now, let's go ahead and start with this offensive performance because I think they deserve majority of the blame in yesterday's defeat against the Falcons. You just cannot sustain a drive into the fourth quarter a little bit too late. And in the first half, 0 for 5 on third down, where that has been money so far for the Houston Texans. You were not ready for this Atlanta Falcons defense. Even veteran wide receiver Robert Woods said they were throwing stuff that they hadn't seen. But I think it's now time we have a conversation about this Houston Texans rushing attack, because 5 weeks in to start the year, it has been non-existent. Dameon Pierce has been a disappointment. Yesterday, 20 attempts, 66 yards, 3.3 yards a carry. That is with Laramie Tunsil and Titus Howard being back. Man, he is not having the season that we were expecting. We were expecting this offense to go through number 31. He was going to be the bell cow, 1,100 yards, 5+ touchdowns, but he is nowhere near that. He is nowhere near his rookie self. His best game was last week against the Pittsburgh Steelers, 81 yards. Prior to that, against the Ravens, against the Colts, against the Jags, didn't even crack 40. You have some fans saying that Dameon Pierce is not the right running back for this scheme for Bobby Slowick. He also looks like he is contact hungry instead of finding ways to make people miss and take the easy lanes. He is just looking to run someone over. Dameon Pierce just has been a disappointment so far to start the year. I wish I didn't say that, but we thought this rushing attack was going to be the Houston Texans offense, but it was the passing attack. It has been the passing attack so far, and I don't see it changing. CJ Stroud ran the ball once for 2 yards. Tank Dell, 2 rushes for -4 yards, trying to use him like Deebo Samuel. He is not built like Deebo Samuel. And I do not see a Devin Singletary rushing attempt. The guy who you signed in the offseason to take the load off of Dameon Pierce, why did you not give him the rock? This rushing attack, man, just continues to not give this passing attack any help at all. Does it get better? I really don't know. Man, switching to this passing attack, we have to have a conversation about Nico Collins. Because this is now 2 games in a row where he has no-showed. Against the Jacksonville Jaguars and then this Sunday against the Falcons. Less than 40 yards in both those contests, yet puts up 150 against the Steelers, 150 against the Colts, and 80 against the Ravens. I really don't like that Nico Collins had a no-show type of day. And yesterday, 4 targets, 3 catches, 39 yards, that's it. Man, when Tank Dell went out with his concussion and Robert Woods went out with the rib injuries, I was expecting Nico Collins to take over. You would have loved to see if that happened, because we were all calling him a number 1 wide receiver last week. Was that premature? Because a number 1 wide receiver doesn't disappear. I think we have to just keep the question open and have Nico Collins tell us every week what he is or isn't. But I still think the Houston Texans need to go get themselves a true playmaking wide receiver, maybe at the trade deadline, maybe in the offseason, but that needs to come for CJ Stroud. Tight end Dalton Schultz led the team in targets, 7 receptions, 65 yards, and 1 touchdown coming at the end of the game, late seconds, to put the Houston Texans up. That was a clutch moment right there. And that's when I bring up not discouraging by this loss. What you didn't see in 3 quarters, you saw it when it mattered. CJ Stroud turned it on, and he showed you that he could be a franchise quarterback. In that scoring drive, the run game was working. Dameon Pierce was finally giving you something. And on the 3rd and 8, finds Dalton Schultz, man. You take a shot. You have 2 downs. You don't need it. A big play. You quieted that Atlanta Falcons stadium. I was screaming. That is franchise quarterback type stuff. That is clutch, ice in the veins. CJ Stroud continues to ball out, man. Give him some weapons. Now, switching to the Houston Texans defense performance, it just wasn't a good day for you. There was so many encroachment calls on you. Basically, the false start for the defense. But Desmond Ridder's cadence just kept on messing up the Houston Texans D-line. It was frustrating to see with D'Amico Ryans. You don't expect these stupid penalties. There was also so many missed tackles. Jimmy Ward did not look good out there. The tight ends, Kyle Pitts and Jonnu Smith, they ate our Houston Texans linebacker up. Henry To'oTo'o, not a good day in coverage. Then you just look at Desmond Ridder. Like I mentioned, was having conversations about should he be benched or not. A career day, 28 of 37, 329 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, a QBR rating of 111.2. He beat you today. Coming into the game, we were saying if you stop Bijan Robinson, you beat the Atlanta Falcons. Well, you kept the rushing game in check. Bijan Robinson, only 46 yards on the ground. Tyler Algier, only 40 yards on the ground. Desmond Ridder rushed for 10 yards and had that TD. But nothing from the Atlanta Falcons rushing attack. It was second-year quarterback Desmond Ridder who ruined your day. And you had no answer for him the entire game. Was sacked 0 times. That was surprising. Because last week in London against the Jags was sacked 4 times. And then 7 times the week prior against the Detroit Lions. Yet the Houston Texans couldn't even put pressure on him. Will Anderson Jr., where have you been? Where are you? After a very impressive sack in week 1, hasn't gotten one in the past 4 weeks. And I mentioned almost every single video, Will Anderson is one of the top players in the league for pass rush win rate. You need to start getting some sacks. You are supposed to be a franchise type of player. I am no way giving up on Will Anderson Jr. I think he is going to be that guy for the Houston Texans, but I need to start seeing him get to the quarterback. Just Not a good performance from this Houston Texans defense, especially being led by head coach DeMeco Ryans. You know, you have some fans saying he was outcoached. Arthur Smith, the OC, was throwing some trickery at you, and we just had no answer for Desmond Ridder. Overall, man, this was a tough game to swallow. Pause. I really thought the Houston Texans were going out there and make a statement. That didn't happen. Now we look forward to next week against the New Orleans Saints. Let me know how you feel about yesterday's game. Go Houston Texans. You guys have a very blessed day.